Running commentary. We are exploring listening to albums. It is a lost art form. We took an hour out of our day. We switched off the phones. We switched off the computers. We did not answer the door. We sat down and we listened to the artist's vision and concept. Soul to Soul, Club Classics, Volume 1. Released on the 10th of April 1989, Soul to Soul Club Classics Volume 1 was produced by Jazzy B and Nelly Hooper. Karen Wheeler is notable for being the vocalist on the band's biggest hits, Keep On Moving and Back to Life. The album was certified triple platinum in the UK, double platinum in the US. When I was first hitting the clubs in London's West End, these guys were hot shit. The thin dreads, the seeming message of club unity, the sophisticated strings of the Reggae Philharmonic Orchestra and their charismatic leader Michael S. Riley, who went on to produce China Black's Searching and Mark Morrison's album. The group had started as a sound system, and they'd attract people at their house and street parties with their unique clothing style, which was labelled Funky Dread. And Funky Dreads to this day are still my favourite kind of people. I love them. They really are members of the loving race. Let's focus on Jazzy B for a bit. Trevor Beresford Romeo is no joke. Born on the 26th of January 1963, he's an Aquarius. This is a star sign I know a lot about. They're often received as aloof, arrogant, detached, but our Jazzy is an OBE. He hails from Hornsey, a quiet backwater in North London, and is of Antiguan descent. He's the 9th of 10 children, and music is just a part of who he is. He had his first gig aged 14 when he was working with friends under the name Jarico. His daughter Jessie is an actress, and his son Marlon plays right back for Millwall FC. From what I'm told, Jazzy B now plays a slot on Friday evenings at BBC London 94.9, which plays funk, soul, reggae and house. So if you can't get enough Jazzy, that's where to go. Tune in. I'm probably out of date. He's probably moved on and doing his own thing now. But his production credits include Fine Young Cannibals, Incognito, Maxi Priest, Public Enemy, James Brown, Sinead O'Connor, Jones Girls, Nas, and Destiny's Child. And that's not everyone. Karen Wheeler was born the week before Jazzy B in the same year. The big difference, though, is that she's a Capricorn. Only by a day or so, but still. She'd been a founding member of the female backing vocalist group Aphrodisiac. Listen, these guys did background on the Jams, Beat Surrender, Elvis Costello's Every Day I Write the Book, Heaven 17 and That's No Lie, Special aka Nelson Mandela, and many, many more. I don't think Trevor and Karen are going to mind me saying here that when they bumped heads, it wasn't pretty. Also born in 1963 is Nelly Hooper, the 15th of March. He's a Pisces. He helped produce this album and was a member of the Wild Bunch, which would later turn into Massive Attack. He went on to produce Madonna, Garbage, and Björk. So what we're building here is essentially a positive review. You've got January, February, and March of 1963. I've not seen that lineage before, where they're all born in the same year from the first 3 months, and they're all, there's one earth sign, there's one water sign, and there's one air sign. So I'm sure that was a very interesting dynamic. Keep On Moving has in its verses a reflective calm. Yes, it's a groove, but it's so much more. You feel the sunshine when you dance along to the strings and the chorus. The inspiration on this song is very pure. It has a natural intimacy built into it, which I think makes it my second favourite track on the album. And no, Back to Life is not my favourite track on the album, but it could be yours. Is Back to Life a good song? Absolutely, but Joe Public ruined it for me. Gone was the cool kind of belonging to something niche, and in its stead you had every roughneck, redneck and chav saying, "However do you want me?" Common accent. you know, it's that sort of a hit. It was during the summer, it was massive, and my magical private island that was called Soul to Soul got turned into Benidorm. But that's not the band's fault. Back to Life is a great song that I wish I could have had some private time with. Fair Play was great in that it showcased the collective sound system sensibility. They clearly had a jamming Sunday night spot somewhere, mentioned in the lyrics. Rose Windross does a representative job on the vocals. For the live performances, Rose is going to have got her dues, no doubt, but I believe Karen's voice had a soothing, calming effect which propelled the band on to radio stardom. Holding On. Jazzy B had an unapologetic way of singing. It was tuneless, but there was a genius to it. Mainly that he didn't kid himself he was an amazing singer, but wanted to be present on his own records. But I think the other thing he did was to give voice to other vocally challenged members of the community. He made it all right not to be Michael Jackson, David Grant, or a stereotype black male voice. He used his own voice and put it in the mix of this collective that he'd created. The strings and the girls do their thing on Holding On, but I think Jazzy B deserves credit on the track for having the courage to not sound pretty, to echo that sometimes non-musical enthusiasm of your environment was empowering. Feeling Free has a feel-good, chill-out, scratching lounge feel. Caribbeans in London have an intonation to the way they say things, and while I may not be overly fond of Jazzy B's singing, his spoken word delivery is a taste of home. Soul to Soul's lyrics are positive and engaging and reassuring to any of us who have grown up with West Indians as our closest and most intimate friends. I love the brass stabs in the background. I'm so happy right now. African Dance. So let's discuss a little delicately here the relationship between the West Indians I grew up with and continental Africans. And I don't think anyone will be upset with me for saying that there were sticking points between the two groups. I only mention this because Soul to Soul I believe, presented the option of putting those differences aside and instead embracing Africa as the motherland. And this was certainly a train of thought that gained momentum during that period. Heavily backed up visually with funky dreads, and I think Soul to Soul, we can confidently say we're on the cutting edge of that pro-African approach which historically we can regard as a renaissance. The flutes on this track are a delight, and Soul to Soul's signature dance beat makes this an unmissable part of the album's journey. It's breezy, perfect in boutiques, on runways, in restaurants. Dance. Everybody's got to make a living. During African Dance, you're dying for Jazzy B to come in and on Dance he does. I'll put you all in a trance. Some steal. Everybody's got to make a living. A smart continuation of a theme. You know, this everybody's got to make a living. You don't think of somebody that thieves or think of somebody that commits crime to survive as making a living. But I guess they are, and I think, you know, this is the first time it was presented to me as an idea that they're making a living, that they're getting by through unconventional terms. I mean, I guess, if you think about a fox going into a chicken coop, he's stealing, isn't he? But he's surviving. It's interesting. I found that a very sort of interesting thing to put in a record, so I liked that on Dance. Okay, so my favorite is Feel Free. It features Doreen Waddell. Not exactly a star name there, but girl, I tell you what, this girl can sing. This is my number one song on the album, without question. This vocalist is in possession of an unforgettable character when singing this song. The strings are magnificent. I wonder if you know that I'm your sweet, sweet darling. This is Soul to Soul Fire. I will never be over this song. Really great job, guys. Amazing song. And so potent and so full of, you can get down to this. I mean, you can do anything to this song. You could, dig up the garden, Give the Wife a Good Time. It's really great song. I love this. Feel free, check it out if you haven't heard it. Happiness. Happy House, for a nod to that Chicago, Detroit thing that is spreading like wildfire through the London clubs at this time. Of course I recognise my Doreen. Of course I love her. There's a little vocal riff here and there. It's harmless. I like it. Jazzy's Groove. Some DJs used to end the night with this track. Trust has always meant a lot to us. Hopefully we're on our way. Jazzy B gives what is essentially an outro interview with all this intoxicating rhythm and brass going on. So 5 listens and it's time for the grade. This album is at the core of my young adulthood. This music was a campfire that people met around in the clubs. This music made a new kind of person cool. And for that reason, Soul to Soul Club Classics Volume 1 scores 94%.
Cosmopolitan, yeah, Cosmopolitan, yeah, Cosmopolitan.